Hello and welcome to Dark Night Healing. My name is Julie. I want to talk to you today about outcomes, expected outcomes, childhood dreams and beliefs, and how when we get older, those change for most people. For me, growing up, a cabin that my grandparents owned was what I call home, because my mom moved us around quite a bit, as I discussed in a previous video. And in that video, I also discussed going home for a healing journey. But that had me coming to realize that everything that I had been taught since I was a small child had been instilled in me by my family, even up to the point of how I was going to retire and what that was going to look like. Because I honestly thought that we would all eventually grow old at this cabin. This is what was intended. It would be passed down through the generations, something passed on from my grandfather to significant family members, and that we would just all grow old out there. And so even as a small child into my teenage years, and even when I was having children, I dreamed of sitting on the porch at sunset, watching the sunset, knowing that my ancestors had been scattered their ashes here, and that they were here with me each sunset, as my grandpa said, walking the golden path. So this is something that was instilled in us for generations. And so when that was sold, it shattered generations of expectation and instillment, and this is how it's going to be. It shattered that illusion. And for me, now I have to look forward to a new future that's not only going to be something that I want, but something that future generations are going to be acquiring and inheriting, but also, getting something out of. Having that piece of land might have seemed like an extravagant thing then, but now, in the reality of this time, when the government is slowly, systematically taking away your rights, and owning anything is going to be a thing of the past, that is a huge, significant piece to have been taken away. So now I have to change my future and what I expected it to look like. Because we all had this very clear picture, or at least I did, and I think at least my sister did for a time. But maybe not. Maybe that was just me. Maybe that was just me and my grandpa. Maybe that's something that he instilled into me, and when he was gone, and then it was gone, it was taken away completely. That could be the truth. I don't know. But I do know that this is a huge healing point in not only myself, but the entire lineage, because this was something that my grandfather had made with his stepdad as something for the family, and they built it with their own two hands, and they put their own energy into this so it would be good and it would be profitable going forward. And now Grandma had that right. Her name was on the title. She had that right to sell it. She had that right to do what she pleased with it, and that is true. And it is us that has to break that illusion and that expectation of outcome. Because you just, as a kid, assume, right? And it's funny because you watch all the TV shows and, you know, the rich parents are like, ha ha ha, it's our money. No, that's really how it is. You see all these millionaires nowadays saying, we're not leaving anything to our kids. They can work for it. And that's just the reality of it. It's a walk this world alone kind of scenario now, where nothing is really passed on. And so for me, when I'm going to start building from here on out is something that will be passed on, something that my children and the future generations, whether it's my grandchildren or my great nieces and nephews or however that works, but something for the future generations to be able to have transferred to them and them cultivate from there. That's very important to me now, especially in these times. A lot of things are changing quickly, I see, and a lot of people are starting to say things like, we don't need cultural identities and stuff like that. Now, do I agree that humans are a species as a whole? Yes, I do. Human is a race. Doesn't matter what color you are human. Color shouldn't matter, because you're human. Dog is a species. You can be racist against dogs, but you can't really be racist against a color because we're all human. So do I agree with that? Yes. But do I agree in taking away cultural diversity? No. I come from 3 very specific cultural backgrounds, mainly Scottish, Irish, and Icelandic. They all have very unique ecosystems amongst themselves and traditions and how they do things. And we're losing a lot of that, and have been for many years. When I was a kid, in our neighborhoods during certain times of the year, such as May 1st, we did Beltane, we celebrated Beltane, and we celebrated the winter solstice, and heritage days, and over the years, those things have been slowly taken away. And those were things that I was quite fond of as a child. And so, I honestly believe that cultural diversity is a good thing. And I don't believe in cultural appropriation, because you want people to learn about your culture, so what? If they're copying, that's when I grew up, copying was a form of flattery. So now it's just you're stealing from me. No. Gaelic or Irish is starting to come back because people are choosing to learn it. And there's languages out there that are endangered of becoming extinct. And I think we do owe it to our cultures to at least try to understand them, and what they did and who we were as a people and where we came from. That's not something to just sweep under the rug. We should take the best of all cultures and integrate it, not picky, choosy, we don't like that, but then that's just how history has gone. They just, what they don't like, they steam and bulldoze. So I deem you uncivilized and barbaric. But yeah, so changing our opinions and our expectations of the outcomes, and changing what we view of what we want are the most important things. Because expecting something from a particular outcome, it definitely causes you pain when it doesn't go that way, but it might not have meant to go that way. That's the thing, it might not have been meant for you. That might not have been meant for you. Obviously, this wasn't meant for me, but you don't know that because it's something you have to figure out along the journey. It's part of the journey. It's part of your learning and your obstacles and your change that you need in order to grow. So remember that this is about the journey, and that the outcome will be what it's supposed to be. Would I have loved to grown up and grown old on that porch that my grandfather used to sit on? Yes. That's my favorite place, and was for so many years, most of my life. All my best memories are there. So it will be one that's difficult to heal, but I know I've started, and it will be easier for me to now let go of the outcome of things, because this has drastically changed what I thought my life would look like going forward. And it certainly made me think more about what I want for myself, and maybe not so much of what was instilled into me and what was given to me by my ancestors and my family. So I truly get to look at myself and what I want and what I came into this life to do for me. So it's okay, and I will be okay, and I will find and develop a new dream, and you guys will all get to watch and be a part of that, which is an interesting and wonderful experience on its own. So throughout this journey of learning what the journey is instead of going to the outcome is going to be stressful, but in the end I think it'll be exciting, because I'm ready for a change, and I'm really ready for seeing something new and open to new possibilities of where I can go now and what I can do. And I don't have that anchor, I guess, because honestly that's what I would never even think about leaving Alberta, even if it weren't for that. If that anchor was there, I would never leave, because I had something here that's tangible, but I don't have that now. And so I guess that's going to make going forward that much more exciting, because it's all new and it's all going to be me feeling my way through this instead of working off of a foundation that was already there. So remember not to put so much effort into the outcome, and put it all into the journey and how you feel. And really sit in those feelings, whether it's pain, whether it's joy, whether it's happiness, whether it's sadness. Feel those emotions for what they are, because they are important. They are important for every part of your transition and every part of your progress. Emotions are important, and they're not something we should suppress. You should feel them and learn from them and create your boundaries with them. So, thank you for your time. If you would like some personal tarot readings, you can definitely message me on any of the platforms. I also have intentional items and sounds that I build. You can message me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I also have a YouTube channel. You can also email me at darknightheal@gmail.com. Other than that, have a great day. We'll see you next time.